Mentioned the grip earlier, nice and narrow, very comfortable grip. Always been a strong point about Hoyt bows is the grips are always really nice, so I think there's a very good chance this grip will suit a multitude of different hand sizes and shapes. Neck of the grip's comfortable, doesn't feel like my knuckles are rubbing anything, slips in there quite nice. Yeah, really good, solid, sharp feeling, tight bow, that's how I'd describe it. I haven't got any side weight on this. Could potentially have a little left-handed side rod. Doesn't really feel as if I'd need it. It stays quite parallel and square as a follow through with that. Now there's quite a few positives with this bow. I've described it. It feels really good, really solid to shoot, and obviously a quality piece of kit. But I think it deserves to be criticised in one area, and it's the same with the other Alpha Elite that I've got, and the Alpha Max is the same as well. And it seems to be an ongoing problem with the shorter length, more parallel limb Hoyt bows, is that the top cam always wants to seem to lean to the left. And the reason I'm bringing it up is that this is a very expensive bow, and this is supposed to be the absolute top of the range bows that you can get. And when you see your top cam leaning to the left, it's a little bit disappointing. And you can see that they've tried to address that by twisting up the right hand yoke. They've got a served fixed yoke now, which allows you to twiddle up one side. Which is perfectly fine. I mean, that's normal. It's always been done like that, and it's good to see they've finally got a fixed-in yoke here. And that was the reason one side's turned up more than the other, to try and square the cam up. But the problem is it's not quite enough. It still leans over to the left at full draw, and it's not the limbs at all. I've checked the limbs. The limbs are perfectly square. It's associated to the cable guard, obviously, that when the cable guard's raked across to the side, it pulls the cables offline to the side and tilts the left hand side of the limb down a bit. So you twist up the right hand harness to square those limb tips up. And there's always going to be some amount of cam lean in bows. It's just the changing pressures of when you draw a bow back from brace sight to full draw. You've got to expect some degree of lean, but this is quite really distinctive on this one. And if it was just this one alone, you might put it down to the bow, but it's not. It's almost, we get into a habit of saying to customers, look, it's normal for your top cam to lean to the left, and that's just the way it's going to be. But another factor that contributes to that is the placement of the grip that they have. And I don't know why they do it this way, but they do, and I'm sure they've got the reasons to do it. See if I can show you that they line the grip up on the inside of the bow. So if you look to square the string up with the alignment of the string track of the cams and the centre shot, the grip's off to the right. It's inside the bow, and it has the effect that when you hold the bow and when you draw the bow, you can't help but turn the bow a little bit to the left, because you're putting pressure on the inside of the string, and that in effect as well makes it look like the cam's leaning to the left a bit, because you start to see the inside of the cam, the inside of the sight window. So combine that with the cable guard pulling it off to the side, there's not really a lot you can do to get that top cam completely square, and I'm just surprised that they haven't sorted it out yet, because again, it deserves close inspection at this sort of price, and if there's anything that lets it down a little bit, it's the squareness of the cam at the top. So let's see if I can demonstrate how that might affect how it looks. So if I was to draw the bow back and exaggerate it, let's see if I twist the bow to the left like that, see how I can kick the stabiliser off to the side. It's nothing like that in reality, but it shows you how the pressure and the turning it on the inside of the bow can make it look as if the cam's leaning to the left more than it would normally be if the grip was straight down the line of the string. So that's something to consider as well with that bow. Sure, they've got the reasons that they do it that way, but I just can't understand why they might do it that way. I'm going to try and sum this bow up for you then. It's quite difficult to know where to place it, and actually I turned that really, I think that's one of the positives. It's a really good crossover bow, that it's not a classic target bow in the sense of a Vantage Elite, which I can't see it replacing. Neither is it a very short compact field bow either. It's sort of smack right there in the middle. It's going to appeal to a lot of different archers of different styles, because if you do a few different disciplines of archery, this is a bow which is going to accommodate those different disciplines. So what I was first of all considering might have been a negative, not knowing what type of bow it is. Actually, it's a really good appealing bow to lots of different types of archers. The other positives as well, it's got that wow factor. When you take it out of the box, the finish of it's really good, and you hold it and you think, yeah, this is a quality piece of kit. The design looks good, and so it really it impresses in that department as well. The grip is really comfortable, the sound and the feel of the bow is good, really good solid sharp feel to it, and the cams feel lovely to shoot as well. The grip is comfortable. Lots of positives to say about this bow. And then there's some negatives that I've come up with, and they're all related to the price of the bow really. So you've got a very expensive bow, so you're going to be quite fussy about it when you get it. And some of those negatives were a bit rattly when we took it out of the box. I really can't forgive that. That shouldn't rattle like that at all, but I think that's going to be corrected soon enough on that. I put a little spacer in here to stop that from happening when I was shooting it. And then there's the issue that I can't get away from, is the top cam alignment. It seems as if the shorter and more parallel the bows become with Hoyt, the more the top cam wants to lean to the left, because the longer bows that we have, it's not so pronounced, and you can always straighten them up by tweaking the yoke on it. But this one, you can't really straighten it up enough to call it square at the top. So that's a negative really, and at the price of this bow you'd expect perfect alignment at the top. And although every bow to some degree is going to have some sort of cam flex, when you're at the top of the tree, both in price and marketing, you expect to be able to square this one up. My other negative is the grip placement. I do feel it's a bit too much on the inside. I'd like to see that moved back out to the left a little bit. And if they could only accommodate those minor issues, I'd have a real hard time criticising this bow, because it's a lovely feeling, lovely shooting bow. I hope that's been of interest to you, and I'll see you next time.